Hey, welcome to Local Chords. I'm Michael Kampa. Tonight I'm here in this converted barn with Wade and Ella. We've got Ella Pruitt and Jerome McNamara, also known as Wade's Snake. So, how are you guys doing tonight?
Amazing.
Doing mighty fine.
Yeah, we really appreciate being here.
Awesome. We appreciate having you. So, I know you guys have been playing together for about 3 years. You met at an open mic in River Falls, but tell me a little bit about how you guys got into music before that and what led to you guys meeting up.
Ella, why don't you start?
Well, I've been in musical theater my whole life. My parents are musicians. My little brother is a musician, and it was kind of in my family forever. I grew up in musical theater and did that until I was about 16 and did a few minor professional things and ended up singing in cover bands in Minneapolis as just a home base that felt good, and got to sing some music that I loved, and got in touch with a couple of musician friends that my mom had been in touch with 20 years ago in Minneapolis. And then I ended up meeting a woman in Hammond, Wisconsin that brought me kind of back to my Wisconsin roots. And then I met this guy about a year later.
I was flipping burgers at a restaurant, and like everybody else, had the ambition to be a rock star and just wanted to do it. I do not have music in my family at all, but met a guy and started teaching me some guitar. Learned a few Nirvana tunes and just screwed around. Started writing a little bit and started singing a little bit, and I guess the rest is history.
And then, so what brought you guys to that fateful open mic night where you met?
Well, I'm going to give a shout out here to our buddy Garrett McFay from Croy Creek Falls. He is ultimately who brought us together. I went to that open mic. He hosted an open mic at Juniors in River Falls for a while, and I ended up going down to see him by accident and was listening to his set and ended up realizing that I knew every song he was singing. So I jumped up and sang with him. And the next week, I think it was, this guy came down. And then when we all just kind of ended up hanging out afterwards, because Garrett is a very good buddy of Jerome's.
Absolutely.
We stood outside for a little while just the other day. A ship came down, man, it kissed the ground right in front of me. It was a man from another land, maybe out of space. I said, hey, Leon, tell me where you're from, or tell me everything. And he said, oh, Jerome, the world you know is not so very different. Got a lot of people loving and a lot of people living, giving everyone the money so that nobody goes hungry. Our words are so the same, it's funny, but I had to say, well, no. See, it's a little more complicated. No. Got a lot of problems cost related. No. Our people are not so concerned that no. We got a lot to learn. He looked a little confused, but there was nothing to do, cause now we knew the truth. When our people are starving, we don't find it alarming, man, so what's the use? I looked at him and he looked back at me. He looked a little bit meek. He checked down the ground, then he looked toward the sky, and he began to speak. And he said, surely then you must befriend the elements of wilderness, cause there are things you can't replace. Your earth has only got one face, and everybody knows it, even though nobody shows it. Surely you protect your world, but I had to say, well, no. It's a little more complicated. No. We're a little overpopulated. No. Our people are not so concerned that no. We got a lot to learn. He looked afraid, yes, he was a panic, and his eyes were a flood. He'd been out east, he saw the terrible beast, guns and bombs and blood. I said, well, we call that a war. There are more and more beats of bloody drum. But they say not the poor, and as I said before, there's more that came from. And he said, oh, Jerome, your home is so much different than the world. I know your bombs, they are exploding, and your guns are being loaded, toted, not only by police, but by children being bullied, till they are pushed too far. And I had to say, well, yeah, oh, I know it's a little too complicated, yeah. Oh, I know it's a little bit frustrating, yeah. Oh, I know we ought to be more concerned, and yeah, oh, I know we got a lot to learn, yeah. We got a lot to learn. Ooh. We got a lot to learn.
So when you guys are putting a set list together, I know you guys play a lot of different kinds of shows, from bar shows to more intimate shows. What's that process look like when you're putting together a set list, and how do you make those decisions of what you're going to play?
Let me field this one. Not as smooth as it should, I guess, in a nutshell. But it's all about, crowd reaction. I mean, just reading your audience. If you play something, if you play Kings of Leon at a wine bar and it bombs, then you switch it up. If someone reacts really well to CCR, then you'll keep it kind of on that same measure for a while.
We do kind of play it by ear. I would say we kind of go into every show knowing that we have a certain songbook in mind, and yeah, we play to the crowd, I think, is the best way to say that.
So you guys have a really interesting kind of country rock sound, and how did you guys develop that? And what are the influences that each of you had that brought that together?
Well, my heart lives and stays in the '90s,
Which isn't exactly country rock.
No, not at all. So your Nirvanas and your Sublimes and your Third Eye Blinds and your Oasis and that kind of thing. I don't know. I guess 4 or 5 years ago, I guess I wanted to start doing something different and writing different music, and so I kind of got into country, and that's, I guess, where my mashup comes from. You're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. That's true. But yeah, my influences are all over the place. But I think our stem, I was one of those girls that when I was, 16, 17, I always said I was going to hate country. I'm not a country fan. And then I don't know what happened. I found Patsy Cline and found some of those other sort of, I don't know, Janis Joplin isn't exactly country rock, but she's definitely on the rock end of that. And, I started singing in cover bands when I was 18, and I had to do the Four Non Blondes and the Janis Joplin and just all that. And it was something that introduced me to a different world. And I'd already been introduced to it a little bit, but it introduced me in a different way.
Say introduced again.
Shut up. Thanks, Jerome.
Blame it all on me, 'cause it's easy. Blame it all on me, 'cause I'm there. Blame it all on me, 'cause I don't care. Ready? Oh, baby, I've been waiting so long for you, dear. And now it's 2,000 miles and still I stand right here. Amongst too many knives and too many guns, too many women who think I'm the one, too many clouds and nothing else on for me. I said, ooh, come a little bit closer. I said, I wanna be right here next to you. She's next to me too. But baby, we go dancing hand in hand in the night. We get to romancing outside under the light. Baby, just when I'm gonna say goodnight, you got me by the collar and pull me inside. Fall on the floor and get to feel alright. You know what I'm talking about? It goes, ooh, come a little bit closer. I said, I wanna be right here next to you. Next to me too. Mama, please do not wait for me. I just want you to remember a time when you adored me. Life will put us back together here now. Oh, a little bit closer. Oh, yeah, now I wanna be right here next to you. Next to you. Next to you. Next to me too. Next to you. Next to me too. Come on, next to you. With you next to me too. Come on, next to you. With you next to me too. Oh, I said, oh, come a little bit closer. I said, I wanna be right here. I said, oh, come a little bit closer. I said, I wanna be right here next to you. Come on, next to you, with you next to me too. I said, oh, come a little bit closer. I said, I wanna be right here next to you.
So in addition to all the covers you guys do, I know you guys play originals too, and we're going to get to hear a lot of those tonight. So tell me about how you guys go about writing those songs.
That's all this guy right here.
Yeah, I guess like any other artistic medium, it starts with a mood or a feeling, and you know, if you're a painter, you put a brush in front of it. If you're a writer, you use a pen, and if you're a musician, you throw a guitar in front of it. Sometimes it works out really, really well, and you get something great right away. Those are few and far between. Sometimes it can take months or days or years. I think one thing that people don't realize, who haven't been through the struggles and triumphs of music writing, is that for every probably one song that you hear live, I would say there's probably at least 15 or 20 that are throwaways. And so you don't just make a song and go out and sing it, or record it or whatever. You make 15 or 20 failures before something finally comes together that you're, you know, proud of and feel is worth sharing. And even then, it's total hit or miss.
Whiskey for My Widow is one of the original songs you played. Tell me about how you wrote that.
Like any good song, I think it was 50% influence from other artists and 50% just a feeling. And that is one that's one out of 100 that you came together and just landed nicely. In my humble opinion, I guess. But you know, the choruses are there and the bridges are there, and it just makes me feel really good to sing it.
And what was what inspired that?
I guess without getting too dark, the older you get, you start thinking about the what your final arrangements might be. And I suppose I borrowed a piece from
The Avett Brothers.
a little bit from the Avett Brothers and a little bit from Zach Brown. I think a little bit from the band Perry there, but you just kind of start thinking about, what you want to happen after you. And in my opinion, or my vision, I guess, just little simple things. So I always tell people that it's my living will. So anybody who hears that's now, they're like they have legal obligations.
Send some whiskey to my widow. If I come up slow with stolen draw, be sure to send some good wine to my mama. Lay me with my head against the straw, and put me in favorite pair of blue jeans. But my pleasure just halfway. Be sure a black bandana's in my pocket. Allow my brother the final words to say. Let my body burn. Don't fuss with a fancy urn. Return that to the earth. Give me to my father. And go where the river meets land. Throw my ashes from the sand. Sit my cowboy hat down on the water. Whiskey for my widow. Whiskey for my widow. No, I don't need a legacy, but please heed his last request. Be sure to read the notebooks in my dresser, 'cause those words all of me that's left. Let my body burn. Don't fuss with a fancy urn. Return me to the earth. Give me to my father. And go where the river meets land. Throw my ashes from the sand. Sit my cowboy hat down on the water. Whiskey for my widow. Whiskey for my widow. I won't pretend to know the end. Where's my final place? We all go there, so don't be scared. 'Cause I sure ain't afraid. Let my body burn. Don't fuss with a fancy urn. Return it to the earth. Give me to my father. Go where the river meets land. Throw my ashes from the sand. Sit my cowboy hat down on the water. Whiskey for my widow. Whiskey for my widow. Whiskey for my widow. Whiskey for my widow.
So what's it been like playing in Hastings?
Well, we had a really awesome introduction with Live at the Loft and Pat Wagner and Augie and the Coxmen. It was almost 2 years ago now that we first met all these guys, and we started doing a little bit of the stuff at the Onion, and then we got involved in the Hootenanny, and that has kind of brought us full circle, and then we just happened to move to town.
I guess I would just we've recently moved to this area, and it's been amazing, the warm and open arms we've received just being members in the community, and music has kind of given us that foot in the door. We have some connections to Hastings, and obviously we're making more and more and more. But we have developed an awesome network of musicians on here. I shouldn't say we have joined and a most excellent network of musicians and supporters around here. Joe Pettit and the Coxmen and Pat Wagner and the boys at Live in the Loft. And that has totally just absolutely given us a foot in the door and made us feel so welcomed in our new home. And I guess the last thing that I would like to say anyway, and I try to say this during shows, but I often forget, is that, and I think this is, the most important thing, and if there's one thing that folks can take away from this, is that we absolutely love being able to do what we do. And it would not be possible without the venues and the staff, and most importantly, the people that come down and show up and have a beer and, throw a nickel in the tip jar and all that. So I think I speak for both of us when I say that. Forgive me for not saying it more often, but we are so grateful and feel so blessed and extremely humbled to be able to do what we do. And thank you to everyone that makes that possible all around the map.
The picture moves across the TV screen, and I just try to figure out what it all means to me. Blinding lights and biting chains, but you never knew me as one from prayers. No. Said Adelaide, forgive my day, you could not stand here next to me. Adelaide, forgive my haste, forgive my taste for pure propane. Adelaide, now the time is broke, the word is free, and the night is quiet and the city sleeps. Forgive me now, forgive me so. Mama, just bewail the honest soul. Whoa. I said, Adelaide, you could not stay, you could not stand here next to me. Adelaide, forgive my haste, forgive my taste for pure propane. Adelaide, I said, Adelaide, ooh. not stay, you could not stand here next to me. Adelaide, forgive my haste, forgive my taste from pure propane. Adelaide. Hey, Adelaide. I said, Adelaide, you could not stay, you could not stand here next to me. Adelaide, forgive my haste, forgive my taste from pure propane. Adelaide. I said,